Hello all you creative types, and welcome back to Triple Jazz, the controversial channel of all things creatively Sonic. Today's lesson is on a prevailing philosophy in Western culture, but I'm targeting the creative community within that culture, and more specifically the creative Sonic community against thinking this way, which is summated by this one tweet. Never let anyone tell you whether something is objectively good or bad. The quality of any piece of art or media is entirely subjective. By Nerdword. An easy refutation to this preposterous worldview is to simply demonstrate it visually. Now we can all clearly see the difference here. One picture is objectively better than the other, and this is not to disrespect the artist shown on the right. We all have a starting place and a beginning to our journey as creative people. However, to claim both these pictures boil down to simply subjectivity and preference is absurd. Secondly, to claim the quality of any piece of art or media is entirely subjective is an inherent objective statement. If your preference to anything media is subjective, but your opinion on media being subjective is objective, how can you be a voice of reason? But I digress. This is not a philosophical deconstruction of the view held here, but simply an informative video about how destructive this view is to a creative. Let's remember that art has fundamentals: line, shape, form, value, space, texture, and color. Every artist must know them, and continually make efforts to grow in each fundamental to become a better artist. Unless of course you hold a subjective worldview, that is everything art or media related is entirely subjective, then my drawing on MS Paint done in 3 seconds is the equivalent to Michelangelo's 3-year work on the Sistine Chapel. Who's to say otherwise? If nothing can be objectively bad or good, you can't critique this. You can tell this claim is incredibly insulting to a creative person like myself, which is slightly ironic even more so when the original claimant himself is a creative person. I have no disrespect for his work, but this claim is unhelpful and ultimately stagnating for the growth of an artist, especially a young one. Even bigger an issue I see in the Sonic community is not only is the art subjective, which is a limitation in itself, but the desire to expand outside the comforts of drawing only Sonic related things is a daunting task. When I was a kid, I drew nothing but Sonic universe-related things forever and ever. And then I decided to try and draw my own characters, going straight from what little Sonic had taught me about the fundamentals of art, straight into trying to create characters based on characters of human anatomy. I then abandoned the original character creator thirst altogether and began revisiting what makes someone good at art. I thought being a better artist was drawing the same thing over and over again until it looked better. A noble assumption, but it lacked the necessary parts for growth as an artist, namely the fundamentals. I hadn't touched them in years, and I certainly had never deliberately attempted to work on them. I began a journey outside of Sonic. It took me away from my computer and back into sketchbooks, which I hadn't touched in a long time. I filled up multiple sketchbooks in a single year. I went from being clumsy with human anatomy to being confident in it. I relearned my basic shapes and 3D geometry. I practiced my perspective. I bought books and resources to help with my lack of understanding of all things art. I was objectively a better artist within a year. What does this mean for you guys? I want to reiterate that every artist has their own journey, and doing the best you can do right now is the best you should do for yourself. Every time you create your best possible work, the bar is raised and your next best possible work will be better than the previous. Sonic creative community, I urge you guys to break the boundaries of your comfort zone and struggle through the sluggishness of learning basics to become a better artist. Being an artist is its own journey. You have your path, I have mine, but we both have an end goal to become better, and being better is not subjective. There are objective strengths and weaknesses in every artist, and realizing them is part of the process of refining your craft. The view I introduced in the beginning is a destructive view for the journey of an artist, because even if we are looking at each other from different angles on different paths, there's a realization that ultimately we can climb this path. There is an objective, period. I just want you all to know that when I give videos on stuff, I'm trying to genuinely help you become better artists. And to become a better artist means you have to view your work objectively. You have to be able to say whether it was good or bad, not in a self-hate kind of way, in a way that looks at your work and says what can be done better about it. Because there are always going to be strengths and weaknesses to your art pieces. You can always make your work better. An artist's journey never ends. It stays with them till the day they die. They just want to keep getting better. And to be better is to realize you can objectively become better. With that said and done out of the way, I just wanted to get that off my chest, let you all know that I care about you and your journey as artists. People's enjoyment of things is definitely subjective, but the quality of it can be objective. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate your eyeballs on this one, and your ears. It's not meant to be disrespectful in any way. It should be encouraging to know that you can get better. There are ways to get better, and it's by focusing on fundamentals. Also, just a heads up, there's a new T-Log video on its way out, and also a how to draw video. I've been extremely busy with life recently. I got a full-time job. I'm working on 2 video game projects and trying to make YouTube videos. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.